Are we ready? Yeah, there we go. I think we're ready. Oh, you might need to turn on your mic.
La da dee, la da da, la da dee, la da da. We'll do this one, Joe.
All right.
No, wait, it's this way. Wow.
What an entrance.
I don't know.
Good to go.
I'm good. I don't see anyone on the stream though. Do we know if people, can you see if people are online? There we go. Can't get Tamira on TV today. It's all right, Mandy, you can come back to it. All right, y'all, welcome to the class. We're gonna get started. If we go over a little bit today, I'm not too concerned about it. We're just gonna do 3 rounds of a very easy warm-up. You can do this every day. Starts off with 10 air squats, going as low as you can go. There we go. Good. Probably waking up and feeling a bit sore and tired. I know I am. Matt and Mandy having a conversation about TVs. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I apologize in advance. I'm notoriously bad at keeping count of stuff. So, you know, if I miss a count, it's not the worst thing in the world. All right, we've got Russian squats. So we're gonna anchor our hands somewhere onto our feet or our ankle or our shin, depending on our mobility. We go down as low as we can. Now that anchor point doesn't move. So when I try to open up and straighten my legs, I'm not sliding away like this. No, anchoring there, straightening our legs. Ooh, it's a bit tough. We're gonna do 10 Russian squats. I just call this Russian because I'm watching all the Russian weightlifters do it. And if you watch the training Olympic hauls, they're all doing this one, warming up the back of the hamstrings. Might be some heavy breathing today. I've been lazy. I've been thinking of you there, la 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 la. 10 of these Russian squats. Notice how I moved sideways to this, so my booty wasn't facing the camera. I know some Zumbi workouts might be like, ooh, bang, off to the side. Cool, hopefully you finished your 10 Russian squats. If not, keep watching. We're gonna do knee touches. So we go down to our lowest position. We're gonna roll over the toe, stretch our leg forward. If you're able to get your knee to touch the ground without impact, that's beautiful. If you can't quite get there right now, that's okay. Just a big stretch out to the side, lean away from your leg. And we're gonna do 5 each side, and we're gonna hold for the last rep. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. There we go. Everybody's in. Everyone's saying good morning. 9. We're going to hold this rep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Come back up. We're going to hold the last rep. 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Come back out. Cool. I'm going to pop in some wrist drills quickly as well. So, first knuckle or palm raises. 30 of these. Nice and quick. You should be active through your shoulders. Everyone knows these exercises. Leaning forward into your hands. Try and get about 30 reps done. 3, 4, 6, 8, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Beautiful. Do fin push-ups now. So back of your hands on the floor. Either your chin or your forehead goes down to the floor, forearms out to the side. Press using the back of your hands. Maybe about 15 to 20 of these. Nice and quickly. We're going to get a few rounds of this little warm-up circuit in before we get into the material. Cool. Little wrist stretch. And then we're going to go straight into inchworms. Demonstrated this last week and you've seen it before. I like to pulse 3 times down to the bottom. 1, 2, 3. Walk my hands out in front And then I'm gonna Beyonce walk. Oh, the single ladies. My feet to my hands. Cool. Gonna do 3 pulses. 1, 2, 3. Nice big stretches in the back of my legs. I push my heels towards the floor. Walk my hands up. My shoulders are active. I'm pressing through them, so they should be hiding my ears. Then Beyonce walk. My feet all the way into my hands. We're going to do 5 reps of the inchworms. 1, 2, 3. Hands out in front. Active through my shoulders, covering my ears. Big stretch through the back of my legs. Ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom. Get that dance hall booty working. 1, 2, 3. Last rep, number 5. 1, 2, 3. Press those heels to the floor. Get a little strut. Awesome. Those are 5 workouts. We're going to repeat that. Try and get 2 more rounds out of it. I'm going to stop you a little bit earlier, so if you can go quickly through it, that's fine. If you need more time with it, come back to the exercises. We're just going to keep it rolling. So 10 air squats. Going as low as you possibly can. Hopefully over the reps, you start to see a little bit more depth. No one sort of really wakes up nimble and fresh. At least I don't. It takes me a while. But when I get there, I feel pretty good. I have no idea what rep I'm at. Let's say 7, 8, 9, and 10. Cool. We're going to go into Russian squats. 10 reps of these as well. Good. All the way down. Anchoring our hands to our feet, or to our ankle, or to our shin, wherever your mobility is going to allow. And I want that uncomfortableness in your back. I'm like, oh, it's tight. Oh, it's tight here. That's what we're looking for. If it was easy, they'd call it. I'm trying to think of some yoga type that won't offend. Maybe guitar yoga. I don't know, making up stuff. If it was easy, they'd call it the sauna. There we go. Come on, Gary, where's my hype man? You're typing away, you meant to be cracking my jokes, putting sexy up on the board. You haven't even said a word yet.
I'm acting busy because I can't think of anything myself.
Ah, there we go. So he is with me here. We're all together in this. Knee touches. Good. We're going to do 10. So on your 9th and 10th rep, you're going to hold for a little bit. Lean away. Big stretch. If you hold your hands here, oh, big stretch up the side of your thoracic and obliques. So this is my maybe 7th, 8th, 9th rep. I'm going to hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Opposite side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Cool. Wrist drills again, nice and quick. First knuckle raises or palm raises. 2, 3, 4, 8, 9, 10. 1. Leaning into your hands, active through your shoulders, getting blood into your wrists. 9, 10. Cool. Fin push-ups. Cool. Inchworms, 5 across the floor. If you're worried about where we're at, Gary, it's all written here as well. Okay. Bounce 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Walk your hands out in front, active through your shoulders. Hide your ears, press your heels to the floor. Beyonce, walk it in. Good. Turn around. Tuck your tailbone, hide your ears, press your feet to the floor. Walk them. See if you can get them all the way into your hands. Oh, yeah. Good stretch for the morning. Awesome. Last round, air squats, Russian squats, knee touches, wrist drills, and inchworms. Ten air squats, 10 Russian squats. Cool. Knee touches, 10 in total, 5 each side. 1, 2. You can put something soft in front of you, like a towel or a cushion. That way it might, gives you a little bit of a target if the floor is too far away from you. So, if you're not really able to quantify or measure how far your knee is going down each time, make a target, just a folded towel or something like that, t-shirt, crumpled up tea towel, whatever. And then as you get better at it, you can reduce that so that you're only touching the ground very lightly. 5-second hold, opposite side, 5-second hold. Go. Coming back up, wrist drills. Everybody into their wrist drills. Between 20 and 30 palm raises, 15 to 20 fin push-ups. Bang them out nice and quick. 10, 1, 2, 3. Cool. Awesome. And then inchworms. Cool. Cool. So you do your inchworms. Cool. So we're going to come to the next exercises now. So we're going to work a little bit with shoulder rehab and prehabilitation. I'm just kind of bulletproofing and making them quite strong. I'm going to wrap a resistance band around one hand here. I'm going to hold the band on the inside of my hand here. And I'm going to try and push my shoulder nice and tall. And I'm going to do 10 reps in the I position. So I look like the letter I. And I want to keep my shoulders elevated, and the band's going to pull down. And so I'm just going to pulse here 10 times. In this elevated shoulder position, I'm then going to draw 10 circles inwards, 10 circles outwards. That's the letter I. We're then going to go to the letter Y, out to the side, protraction of my shoulder, 10 reps backwards and forwards. Then I'm going to draw circles in, draw circles out. Then I'm going to go to the position T, okay, I, Y, T. Going to do 10 in and out. Then I'm going to do 10 circles one way, 10 circles the other way. And then I'm going to go to the letter A. You might need to roll it up so it's down below. And I like to make it a little bit tight by putting my elbow into my stomach. 10 reps here, and then 10 backwards and forwards. 10 circles one way, 10 circles the other way, working all of this inside of the shoulder. So we're going to start that now with the letter I for all the children and people learning the alphabet at home. So nice and tall overhead, 10 reps, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're going to draw circles, 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 circles the opposite way, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Give your shoulder a little rest. All right, cool. Now we're going into the position Y. If we're doing with this two hands, then it looks like I, Y, T, A. Okay, that's the way. Cool, so we go into letter Y, 10 reps, shoulder in protraction, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 10 circles, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Backwards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Cool, for the letter A, make the band a bit shorter. Turn your hand over, so it's no longer palm to the sky. It's going to be palm down or pronated grip. Good, 10 reps here. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10 circles. 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Other way. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10. If you're doing it properly, with a fairly challenging amount of resistance, your shoulder should be screaming. That's the plan. Okay? They do recover quite quickly because it's just the band. So the resistance you use is all up to you, but I want it to be challenging. By the time you get to the 30th rep, drop your shoulder down, give it a shake, move into the next position. So starting off with I, shoulder in protraction, elevation, 10 reps, backwards and forwards. Then we're going to draw circles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Opposite way. 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10. Whew. Bring my shoulder down. Now ready for the Y position. Cool. Shoulder still in protraction, so pushing forwards. 10 reps, backwards and forwards. 1, 2, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Circles. 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Circles the opposite direction. 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Cool. Drop your shoulder down. Moving on to the letter T. So directly out to the side. Shoulder in protraction, backwards and forwards. 1, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Circles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10. Circles the opposite way. 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Arm a little shake. Make the band a little bit tighter and turn your hand over for A. Cool. 10 reps. Here, this position. 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Circles in. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10. Circles out. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Cool. We've finished our single arm I's, Y's, T's, A's. We're coming back to that. Next exercise we're coupling this with is the QDR press against the wall. We were doing that last week for people watching, but if you haven't watched, our hand placement is horizontal, not turned up, not facing down. fingers to the side, thumb can be a little bit high. And my goal is to lean into the wall, get my elbow to make contact with my body, and then press all the way out. Demonstrate on the wall over here, and I'll just move this ever so slightly this way. Cool. So my fingers facing backwards, lean into the wall, elbow makes contact with my body, big press, lock my shoulder out. Lean into the wall, big press, lock my shoulder out, straight arm here. I can make it a little bit more challenging by going lower on the wall, taking off my opposite foot, leaning on the side of my foot here. Lean in, elbow touches my hip, press back out. You're going to do 10 reps of this QDR press, and then go back to your I's, Y's, and T's using the band. Single rep, single arm each side. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this position should be quite challenging on your wrist and your forearm. That's the idea. We're loading it here, but in a way that it's not terribly painful. It's just uncomfortable. And over the reps that we do, we're going to do 4 rounds of this. You're going to get a little bit more used to it each time. So getting that elbow into my hip crease, pressing and locking out at the top. 10 reps is a pretty good number. Fill your arm with a little bit of blood. Get it used to pushing, not just underneath the shoulder, but also to the side. And we'll build upon that a little bit later. 8, 9, 10. Good. Back to your shoulder IYTs. These are gonna get, there we go, just move it that way. These are gonna get challenging, okay? So if you need to rest between each letter, totally understandable. Shoulder elevated in front of the body, protraction, 10 reps, backwards and forwards. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Circles inwards or outwards, I don't mind. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Opposite direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10. Good. Let your arm come down. We're going to the position Y. So wrap the band around. Y position, shoulders in front of the body, protraction. Good. 10 reps, backwards and forwards. 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Circles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Circles the opposite way. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Going to the position T, so arms directly out to the side. Cool. Hold the band, protraction of the shoulders. Backwards and forwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Circles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10. Reverse. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Cool. Let your arm down. Going to A position, turn your hand over, so it's a pronated grip. Your palms facing the floor. I like to put my elbow into my stomach to make it a bit challenging. 10 reps here, backwards and forwards. 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10. Cool. One side down, opposite side to go. Cool. Overhead for the letter I. Elevated shoulder, protraction, so shoulder in front of the body. 10 reps, backwards and forwards. 7, 8, 9, 10. Circles. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Opposite way. Circles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Cool. The letter I completed. If there are any questions, please pop them up into the box so I can see. Otherwise, yeah, that's all good. Off to Y. If you're comprehending all of the instructions with the exercises, please don't wait for me. You can move through them. Good. Circles. 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Circles. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Whew. It's a burner. It's a burner. There we go. Out to the side for T. 2, 3, 4, 8, 9, 10. Circles. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. Reverse. 1, 2. Advanced meaning hold on each rep. So you don't have to put that part in. I'll just speak to, yeah. Next one is curtsies. Cool, letter A. So turning our grip over. Shoulder in front of the body. 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 9, 10. Circle reps. 10. Good morning, Kale. Good morning, Steph. Good morning, Mandy. Good morning, Brock. Good morning, Jill. Good morning, Kale. I can't remember if I said that one already. Good morning, Sarah. Cool. So we've done our eyes wise T's. Back over to the wall. QDR press. Hand facing sideways. 10 reps each side. I want it to be challenging. Okay. So loading into your wrist. You guys should have fairly strong wrists. Been doing lots of handstand work and pressing work. No excuses. Try and keep your hand as flat with as much contact into the wall as possible, and then full extension. Press out from the wall. Good. Get that lockout. Aiming to have our elbow make contact with our body, and ideally it's around about the hip area. Everyone has like slightly different hips and strength levels, but we can make it quite accessible simply by moving our feet a little bit different in this position, a little bit further away to make it a little bit more difficult. Kind of looks like the Michael Jackson move, but just in a different angle. I feel like every lesson I'm going to bring up Michael Jackson. Why wouldn't I? He the king. Oos. If any of these exercises you feel are very useful, or if you feel like you might want to do more rounds than the time that we're allocated to because we have to move through the class and get through the material, please just make a mental note and go back to the workout and be like, okay, cool, I'm going to do this. So Mandy, you and I have talked about shoulder conditioning, you know. This one's very good for your shoulders. So if you feel like you want to come back to it, totally fine. But you know, we'll all move on together through the exercises today. Cool, back to eyes wise T's. You should be making real good friends with these now. All right, 10 reps, backwards and forwards. 10 reps, circles. 10 reps, circles in the opposite direction. Cool. Whew. Into the Y position. How's our commentary going? Gary, how many people have we got viewing?
Not enough, so we just need about 10,000 more.
I mean, I brought my shins out. I thought that was the case for it. We discussed that, you know, we're going to show more skin. I took it as showing more shin.
Well, people don't know well, now that they know you're willing to put out, they'll probably be back next week or
okay.
You know, next time.
Yeah, that's it. And also, I think as good morning, Skippy, as well with it, the accessibility of being able to do this at any time of the day is also really quite good for people
so
too.
Watch your shins any day.
Any day. Oh, no. They can come back for the shins. Come for the shins, stay for the workout. That's how it goes. Cool, letter A after our letter T. Cool, shoulder in protraction, so it's not behind my body, it's in front. 10 pulses backwards and forwards, and then circles. Might be a little bit difficult to see the circle. Circles are always like just very small It's just working the very small, intricate muscles in the part of our shoulder. It's all those sort of micro movements, same as when we do our warm-up with this. It's all the micro movement to try and work on those smaller muscles that don't get as much attention, especially in the heavier pressing or loading work, or pulling work for that matter. Eye position, good, 10 reps. Elevated shoulder, protraction, circles. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 circles the opposite way. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Cool. Coming down. Y. Out to the side. Shoulder still in protraction, so it's not behind my body. It's still in front. 9, 10. Shoulder circles. Y position. 10. 10 the opposite way. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Whew. Off to the side for our letter T. Cool. 3, 4, 5, 6, 10. Shoulder circles. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Circles the opposite way. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Switch your hand over. Opposite grip for the letter A. Good. Tuck your hand in wherever you need to. 10 reps, backwards and forwards. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Circles. 3, 4, 5, 6, 10. Circles the opposite way. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Back over to the wall. QDR press. Hand sideways. Elbow. Making contact to your hip bone, ideally, or just anywhere along your body if that's too challenging, but get that extension out from the arm as well. 10 reps either side, leaning into the wall, pressing away. 3. Trying to get as much surface area in my hand, making contact against the wall as possible. 10. Opposite side. Christians. 10. Cool, I'm going to give you 1 or 2 minutes to do that, or so maybe just another minute. I'm watching the clock there. Keep working through your reps. Hopefully you've got through, you're either on your 3rd round or you're making your way through your 4th round. 3 or 4 rounds is ideal. Making that push, finishing those positions. I, Y, T, A. How long do the morning sessions usually go for? About an hour, give or take, because it's this online sort of situation. We try to fit it all in, but there's a bit of flexibility and overlap. Plus, if there's any exercises that you don't get to complete and the coach moves on, you just revisit it at the end of the session. Just check the stream again and you can come back to the exercises. Cool. So last week, Monday, we worked with the QDR hip touches, and we're going to be revisiting those because they're really fun. They're cool to work with. So coming down onto the floor, hands facing either sideways or in a sort of C or V shaped position. Okay. So for our beginner position, just on our knees, we're going to rotate, bend our elbow, touch our hip into our elbow, big push up all the way back to the top. Opposite side. I'm going to leave my knee on for beginners. You can leave that leg supporting there. Bend your elbow, touch your hip in, big press to the side, and I'm going to show that what that looks like on the side here. So I keep my legs fairly close together, bend my elbow, my hip touches, big press all the way back up to the top. Opposite side, hip touches, I get that contact, press all the way up. You're going to do 5 each side. Now for the people that saw last week and they're quite strong, you can lift this leg off the ground and you can extend it a little bit behind as well. So hip touch, extend, big press back up. You can keep your knees off the ground as well, and that gives you that extra bit of work. And I really want you focusing on getting that touch, that contact, and then pressing out of it. So contact, touch. For advanced people, maybe a little bit of a hold there is ideal. Keeping your hand with as much contact in the floor as possible. Don't let it peel away. Opposite side. Sweep that leg behind. Big press all the way back up. Hip contact. Big press all the way up. Hip contact. Big press all the way back up. If we're doing the beginner version, just on your knees. Hip contact. Big press back up. Cool, those are the QDR hip touches. We're going to do 5 each side of those. Like I said, for the people that are feeling strong in that position, I want you to hold for about 3 to 5 seconds on each. Curtsy squats, very, very useful, very simple as well. You're going to wrap your foot backwards and diagonal behind your body. Cool. I'm going to avoid my hips turning out. I'm going to try and keep them front and center. Roll down, knee touches the floor, stand back up straight, come back to the front. So it's going to look like this. Hips facing the front, knee touches, come down, extend my back leg nice and straight, back to the front. We're going to do 5 each side of the curtsy squats. Good. Knee touches, heel touches, get a nice big extension out of the back of your leg, back to the middle. And it's about nice diagonal line behind. I don't want my hips to open up sideways like this. I want to keep them facing forward. Knee goes down. I press my heel into the back. Touch back there. Good. Back to the side. Try and keep your legs as wrapped into each other as possible. We're just going to feel this tightness in the side of your legs. Cool. The third exercise, roll what we were working on last week. So I'm going to lean in. My hands go behind my body. 1 hand, 2 hand, 3, out. So that's version 1. I'm going to repeat that again. Hand goes to the back, behind the body. Hand, hand, foot, foot, back up. And you're going to do 5 each side of that one. If you got that one and you also knew the opposite one, so come down into a squat position. This time I'm going to roll over my heel and the top of my feet and then narrow. Opposite side. Hand, foot, foot, hand. You're going to do 5 each side of either version 1 or version 2. I'm going to slow this down for you. Leg is extended and I roll over this position. Hand reaches on my toes here. Legs in a narrow position for this one. Roll back over. And this leg I'm squatting on here. If we're going to version 1, hand behind the body. Five reps either side. Cool. QDR touches, 5 each side. If you're advanced, you can do a little hold, making sure that elbow makes contact with the body. Curtsy squat, 5 each side as well. And then roll version 1 or version 2, 5 each side. Start smashing that one, guys. Cool, so let's go back to QDR. Cool. Big press up. Get my hip to make contact with my elbow. Big press up. Big press up. If you've got a little bit of a stronger arm and stronger elbow, swing that leg back a little bit further. Hold on that position a little bit. Build up a little bit of strength and load in the wrist and the elbow, but don't forget the big press out of it, so you don't just swing around to the side and then fall out of it. So what I mean is, don't just swing, crumble and collapse. Actually get that push. It's almost like a push up out of that bottom position. Leg comes around, big push back to the top. Hip touch, swing my leg around, big push all the way up to the top. If I'm doing it on my knees, same thing, hip touch, big push up to the top. Curtsy squats, feet together, backwards and diagonal, avoid my hips rotating out, knee goes to the ground, heel goes to the ground, step back to the front. Wrap my leg backwards and behind, keep my hips facing forward, knee touches the ground, heel touches the ground, back to the start. 5 each side for your curtsy squats. Like I said, guys, if you're moving through this at a good pace, that's fine. If you're not quite clear on the details, we can revisit it later. Getting the general idea for it. If it's challenging, then that's what I'm looking for. There should be some sort of feeling of contortion in your thighs here, because naturally they want to kind of open, but we want to force our legs to really crunch over the top of each other and then extend our back leg, this extension at the back. So here, go down and then extend out the back of my leg, getting a nice big stretch in the back of my leg here. Cool. Cool. Got the roll. So, version 1, hand, hand, big step again, over to the other side. And you're more than welcome to speed this up a little bit. Move either side. Foot, foot. If you want to get a little lift and a little press between that, you're more than welcome to. So, boom, a little float there for the version 1. Hand, foot, push through. Make sure you're active through your shoulders, just like in the handstand. Don't drop down. If you want to support us, guys, we have our Patreon. Matt's setting that up so that you can have discussions with the coaches. There's lots of perks. If you're not really aware of what Patreon is, it's a website where people can share their product or their entertainment or their services, and people can subscribe either to a monthly donation or weekly, fortnightly. I think there's quite a few options. Roll version 2 in a semi-squat position, leg extended. Gonna roll over the top of this foot here, outside in. Boom. Gonna do the complete opposite foot. And then I land on the other side. Boom. Ah, yeah, yeah. Ah, yeah, yeah, yeah. Ah, yeah, yeah. Ah, yeah, yeah, yeah. Bit of capoeira. Bang. Gotta enjoy it. Keep working with those rounds. If there's any questions, please post them up. Otherwise, if you guys are still working, it's very simple. 5 each side for everything. Okay, if you're doing the QDR hip touches, get a little bit of a load. It's similar to an elbow lever where we put our arm in here, or if you've done yoga, that peacock position. But I'm doing it right on the hip bone, or right underneath it is where's that very good fleshy solid bit of muscle. Okay, 5 each side for our hip touches, and we have our curtsy squats. The curtsy squats are sometimes a little bit more confusing, I think. Foot diagonally backwards, knee touches the ground, heel touches the ground. I get a nice big extension through the back of my leg, come back to the front. Swing my leg backwards and behind, knee touches the ground, heel touches the ground. It's a very good, very accessible. You can do this very light, so make this easier if this is a bit too challenging. It's just less of a dramatic angle. And then all it is a little bit of a lunge. What we're doing here, and you can keep working while I talk to you, is we're increasing the complexity of the knee and the angle that it's working with, all the way to the point where I'm going sideways and it turns into a dragon squat. But making these exercises accessible and also making them achievable with volume does a lot for your VMO, for your knees, for any tendinitis, for your patella tendon, ACL, that kind of stuff. You know, so it's quite important that we work with these angles of complexity. One with the intention of building leg strength and looking after our body, but it also, you know, builds into other really cool exercises, you know, go all the way around, all the way down. We get very strong legs from it. Good, press out. Plus we don't need anything for it, you know, how good's that? Back to your rolls. Cool. Maybe you're getting a little bit more comfortable now and it's sort of floating a little bit, which is cool. Side to side, 5 each side, either version 1 or version 2. Nice little capoeira hip hop move. What I was doing in between was simply switching my legs, switch, switch, and then I can do 2 on the same side. Backwards, boom, backwards, boom, 2, maybe I do 3, over to the other side. 1, 2, 3, all the way across and back. How are we going? John's here. Ian's here. Cool, guys. All right. Do a little bit more with that. 5 reps each side, and then we're going to move on to the last exercises. As usual, go a little bit over. Cool. So I'm going to stop you there. If you want to go back to those exercises, more than welcome. Restream it. We're going to move forward. We're going to work with more bent arm press, isometric or static positions. So either the elbow lever this time. This is where we're going to try and tuck our elbow into our abdomen, our groin area. We're going to load that position with the wrist at flexion. Bent elbow as well. And we're just going to load it for between 5 to 10 seconds. And I want you to do 2 reps on each side. So coming down to our knees, hand sideways on the floor, you know, the thumb sort of leading off and tall in this position here. Yeah, thanks Gary, he sorted it out. Cool, I want my elbow to come into my abdomen, probably about here on this side. Okay, very similar position, just slightly inward more. Stretch my hand overhead, make my feet and my body nice and wide, so I'm spreading my load, and I'm just holding this position for about 5 to 10 seconds, leaning my weight into it. I'm going to try and feel as much of the floor through my hand as possible, get as much contact as I can. Come out of it after 5 to 10 seconds, Little bit of a wrist rotation. And then we're going to do our next rep. Boom. About 5 to 10 seconds here. If you're very strong, you can start to lift your legs off. If you're even stronger, hand off. Try and hold. But it's very hard.
Showing off.
Yeah, I was setting up for that. I was like, come on, Gary. I'm gonna lob him over the plate. You gotta work with it. It's gotta be that Jay Leno kind of talk with the musician guy, you know?
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
Not that I can play anything.
No.
Yeah.
Do I need to go get you a coffee? Is that what it is?
Bit of a sound card as well.
There we go. So loading on the opposite side, 5 to 10 seconds. Good. Coming back out of it. Giving your wrist a nice rotation. Trying to get that elbow in. And if this is where my waistline is, it's around this area here of your groin. Not really your tummy, okay? But it's a combination of the two. The abdominal walls are still working.
Stab yourself in the kidneys.
Stab yourself in the kidney, I suppose. Well, if you haven't stabbed people in the kidneys before, you know, it's going to be hard for people to visualize where that is. Not all of us grew up on the streets like Matt. But yeah, essentially stab yourself in the kidney. Atomically, I have no idea where my kidney might be. Five to 10 seconds each side. Cool. We're going to come back. So there's a lot of loading going in our hands and wrists there. Like I said, if we go over today, just keep doing the exercises, but at least I'm setting you up for it. In between the rest period, I don't really like having rest where people just walk around and do nothing. So with your tennis ball, you're going to do footwork, bounce, and touch with the ball. You're going to do between 90 seconds to 2 minutes, non-stop. I don't care if you stuff up. I don't care if it's your first time. Doesn't matter. Start off with 1 touch to 2 touch to 3 touch, and keep building there. But essentially, I want you to just be working with something else a little bit more challenging while your arms are giving a rest. So we'll pull up a timer on the screen. And I'm going to demonstrate. What this also demonstrates is, you know, exercise and fitness doesn't have to be this strict regime. It can be playful, you know? Especially if we want our body to adapt to multiple elements, dimensions of movement, you know? So it's very good if we can do a 200 squat that way, but you know, if we can't open our hip comfortably, you know, what's more realistic? You're going to be getting in and out of your car door with pain? Probably. Lots of coordination here. I don't expect you guys to be as good as, I wouldn't say as good as me, but maybe as familiar with this game, but I do want to give you and expose you to ideas where you don't really need much. You do this at the park, set a timer, 2 minutes, non-stop. And it needs to be that kind of non-stop work. It's the same with like skipping. You're doing the same thing with this, with skipping, but this time your legs are in all different directions. All right, that's 2 minutes, or close enough to. We're going to go back to our elbow lever. Like Matt said, think about stabbing yourself in the kidneys. Okay, all you're doing is aiming to get this bent arm position in loading, okay? And the rest of your body is going to help support that by spreading your load across the floor. So legs out to the side, hand out to the side. Use your knees if you need to come down to, okay? And just load that wrist and that elbow. Count slowly in your 10 seconds. 1 and 2 and 3 and either 5 to 10. Come back up, roll your wrist, give it a nice little stretch, and then you're going to repeat your second side, the same side for the second time. So it's 2 sets of 5 to 10 seconds. Okay, cool. We're going to go to the other side. Same thing again. Either on your knees, because bringing your knees in closer will help that load. Otherwise, on your legs, nice and straight. Try and making your hand as tall as possible. Kind of like the Air Jordan logo from Nike. It's kind of what it looks like on the floor. Good, 5 to 10 seconds. Roll your wrists around a little bit. After you've done 2 reps of 5 to 10 seconds each side, straight back into the ball game. Now yesterday, I got called out on this exercise because one of my legs was being lazy, which was funny. So now I'm conscious about it and thought, oh, it's actually, you can get feedback from people, which is interesting because all I was doing was just playing a game like this. So let me demonstrate some ways of maybe that's not accessible to you. 1 touch and then catch. 1, 2, catch. 1, 2, catch. This time I led with my opposite leg. Everyone's going to have a favored leg. Make sure that you're always giving your unfavored leg or disproportionate leg attention as well. You don't have to do the hops. So you can be a little bit slower with it and keep your feet planted. But by encouraging the sense of urgency, suddenly we get a little bit more out of it. In the same way that I could say, you're going to do 100 chin-ups today, you could do those spread out throughout the day, or you could get them done within half an hour. That sense of urgency is going to help your body react to the stimulus overload. Okay? And while this is not a stimulus overload, it's a cognitive overload.
Yeah, so try putting your trousers or,
Say again?
Putting your pants on with a different leg,
Oh,
Everyone always has that.
Yeah.
That first leg.
I always like driving my car with my legs crossed over so that my opposite leg uses the gears.
Yeah, exactly.
Same. Cool. How are we going? 20 seconds left. Keep going, guys. I hope no one's been interrupted from their 2 minutes / 90 seconds of work. Even if you're stuffing up, I don't really care. It's getting you doing stuff with your body. Things that we don't really consider as holistic health. That's exactly what it is, encompassing everything. Cool. Back to your elbow levers. 5 to 10 seconds either side. You're going to do 2 reps of 5 to 10 seconds on your right side or your left. You're looking this way. 2 sets of 5 to 10 reps on that side. We're just coming over 9 o'clock. I want you to get through about 3 to 5 rounds for this, depending on where your level is. I want you to make as much contact with your hand on the floor in this loading position. And really this should be the balance point for you. Your legs should almost be somewhat like rudders. They don't really move that much, and it's all coming from the hands. So it's all, it comes into our handstand training, it comes into our planche training and things like that, about trying to use the balance point of our hands, getting them stronger. Getting them strong is part of it, but then also the neurological development to understand, all right, if I lean this way, this has to counteract this way. It's the same way if you see a child sort of learning to walk. Cool. Hopefully you've done your 2 sets of 5 to 10 seconds on either side and back to the ball game again. This is a great one as well. So I like to go to places like Jacob's Ladder or go to a park with a pull-up bar, and just making my recovery or my active recovery time between the more strength loading sets a little bit more dynamic. So this doesn't really cause me too much energy output, but there's a lot going on. Same with, boxing drills. Doesn't have to be much, but we're just being creative with the circumstances that we have. We don't have boxing gyms anymore. We don't have weightlifting gyms. We don't have these kind of things, Okay, guys, I'm going to repeat all of the exercises from today so that you have them, and if you want to go back through the video as well. If you're feeling like you've accomplished quite a bit today, wonderful. I want you to do your wrist stretches on the floor. They should be pretty straightforward. So, going back to our first exercises, using the bands, I's, Y's, T's, turning our hand over, and then doing A. And it's in and out 10 times, circles one way 10 times, circles the opposite way 10 times. Those are our I's, Y's, T's, A's, but just using single hand because we've got a band available. We then have our QDR press, which was leading up to a lot of those elbow levers and QDRs. So my hand is sideways, extension, out from the wall, lean in, elbow makes contact to the body. It doesn't go behind, doesn't go in front. It might take a little bit of a while to find that point, but it's always active. I don't fall into it. Big extension, press out through my arm. Go in, go back out. And remember, you can change the difficulty, just what are your feet position, if it's more tall or if it's slightly more inclined to get that more. Cool. We then had our QDR hip touches. So instead of trying to stab ourselves in the kidney, we're going to that hip place. Okay, hands out to the side, touching with our hips, bent arm. I lean forward over my hands, big push back up. Opposite side, hip makes nice and solid contact with my elbow, big push back up. Cool, so those are the hip touches. Curtsy squats, leg goes back and behind, knee touches the ground, heel touches the ground. Come back to the start, showing from another angle, diagonal behind, try to keep my hips facing forward, knee goes down, heel goes down nice, big dancer's legs, straightening through the back. Cool. Roll. So, hand, hand, foot, foot, hand and up. And if you want to add a little bit of a float to that, yeah, it's really fun to make it artistic like that. And you can do that at the park. Version 2, I'm on my heel. This leg's nice and solid. Reach over, I pivot on this front foot. This foot meets here. Bang, back over to the other side. Cool. Final exercises we had were elbow levers. Spreading my weight out across the floor, trying to get a hold of about 5 to 10 seconds. Inside, really good as well. And then, bada bing, bada boom, get the ball. Boom. Have fun with it. Mandy, those shoulder exercises were for you and everybody. I'll see you guys later. Have a great day.
Cool. Thank you, everyone.
Cool. I think I lost my ball.
It's over there somewhere.
It's over there somewhere. Oh, there it is. It's fine. Here's our Patreon, by the way, guys. If you want to have a discussion with a coach that's going to support us and the studio, most importantly, the studio. Us as coaches, we have, means of making it, it's going to be difficult, but for the studio to close down, can't stress how, how many small businesses and industries might be affected that might not be able to recover. So, we're doing all these classes for free, and if you're still paying your membership, we're very, very grateful for that, but we're trying to expose this as much as possible. Share it with your friends. Have a look on the Patreon page, and if you want to have a one-on-one chat, if you have some questions about shoulder niggles, knee niggles, what's happening with you at home, and they say, oh, how do I incorporate my training into a routine? If I can't always make these classes, or if I'm limited by this equipment, go on the Patreon, subscribe, have a chat with myself, Macy, Kelvin, Oscar, Matthew, Ray, have a chat. If you need some tips about nutrition, keeping your kids entertained, I'd like to give a shout out to Studio Dre. With Andre, they're doing children's classes. Something we need to consider right now is that this either self-imposed or authoritarian, potentially forced quarantine might last quite a while. And there are some groups, for example, Studio Dre, Dance, etc. is another studio that are providing these children's classes for you to put on the screen. And they're phenomenal because, you know, they're getting the kids, getting that entertainment for them. While still in the home, I can speak from experience of working at Studio Dre. It is very, very amazing work. Andre's been working with children 20 and adults 20 plus years. Super engaging as well, super funny. He spends so much time on the editing. So if you have children and you're sort of realizing now how hard it is to look after them for these long periods of time, you have options and opportunities. And also maybe spread the Bodyweight gym, you know, with friends and family so that we can be exposed a bit more and you can look after your coaches. And like I said, small industry, small business are going to be hit the hardest by this, and it may be, you know, that a lot of them don't recover. So we're really trying to promote as much as our services as possible, and, you know, we're grateful for whatever you guys can do. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, everyone.